Hey guys, welcome back to Product Nation, and in this video, we're going to be talking about the newly announced Realme X2 Pro. Really quick before we begin the video, make sure that you guys are subscribed to our YouTube channel for more tech updates just like this, and also remember to turn on your post-bell notifications. So it feels like we've been talking about phones a lot recently, and a lot of these phones have very similar features. So some of the main things that we're going to be talking about are the things that we know prior to the release. So in terms of display, it's going to have a 6.5-inch 1080 plus dew-drop full screen Samsung display with Super AMOLED panel that supports 90 Hz of refresh rate. 90 Hz on an AMOLED panel, that's something like the One Plus, which is very good, and it's going to be very good for gaming and just basic smoothness. Like everything's going to be smooth, so that's great. It also supports HDR10 Plus support and offers more precise colors with higher contrast and more vivid details. So in terms of security, it has a next generation in-display fingerprint sensor that is meant to unlock your phone in just 0.23 seconds. That is very quick, and in-screen fingerprint sensors generally are quite slow, so this is a very quick in-screen fingerprint sensor. Really looking forward to that one. When it comes to smartphones of this generation, people are generally just looking for a glorified camera. Like that's all people want. They want the camera, they want to know which one has the best camera. So in terms of camera, this is pretty much a bag full of lenses in a tiny body. So it has a 64 megapixel 1.8 aperture main camera shooter. So this has a 20 times hybrid zoom that takes pictures at 16 megapixels. So it's not really 64 megapixels. I mean, it does take 64 megapixel shots in the 64 megapixel mode, but this is described as something weird. I don't understand. Look at this article we put on screen. It says that it'll do it in lighting situations no matter how it does it, good lighting, what lighting, it just does it, all right? So just accept that. It takes 64 megapixel shots in some modes. So it goes from 1x zoom to 20x hybrid zoom, which is very good, and the images seem to be very clear because it isn't digital zoom, it isn't optical either, but it's a hybrid of the two, so it looks very nice. It does not look mushy and weird. It also has the 13 megapixel f2.5 aperture telephoto camera, an 8 megapixel f2.2 wide angle camera, a 2 megapixel 2.4 portrait lens camera, and a 16 megapixel 2.0 aperture front camera that does 1080 at 30 fps. Meanwhile, the back camera does 4K up to 60 fps, which is very good on something in this price range. It also has something called Super Nightscape 2.0, which is an all-new night mode that enhances shadow details, diminishes image noise, and increases the dynamic range even in your night photos. It also does slow motion at 960 fps, which is kind of like a norm in slow-mo for phones now. So if you're a fan of portraits, it's just a 2 megapixel camera, which is kind of just, I'm not happy about that. Could be better. But yeah, it does 2 megapixels portrait mode, so probably gonna blur your background and give you that digital portrait look. It's alright, but yeah. 2 megapixels is too low. In terms of processors, it's gonna have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 Plus processor, which is a flagship processor of this year with up to 2.96 gigahertz of clock speed. So every task is handled immediately. It's a very flagship processor to have on a phone within this price range. It's gonna have the 6 GB of RAM with 64 GB of storage, the 8 GB of RAM with 128 GB of storage, and the 12 GB of RAM at 256 GB of storage. It has dual stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos certified high-res surround sound quality. It operates on Color OS 6.1, which I know literally nothing about. It's probably something like the MIUI and all those other skins that we know. In terms of battery life, it has a 4000 mAh battery, which isn't very big, but isn't very small either, and sports an advanced version of VOOC charging pioneered by Oppo, offering 50 watts of power through that is supplied by the power brick and cable included in the box. 50 watts of charging, that is ridiculously fast, and that is something to be excited about. In terms of connectivity, it does still have a 3.5mm jack, USB Type-C obviously, because that's the future, that's what you need. It also has a dual nano SIM slot, so you can put in 2 SIM cards, but no extended storage, which is a bit weird. So who is this phone suitable for? If you're a power user looking for flagship features and performance without breaking the bank, and also you're into the whole camera side of things, then the Realme X2 Pro should be high on your list of choices. at the time of this recording, we're not very sure on all of the prices, but we don't know that the 12 GB of RAM, 256 GB of storage is going to cost you around 2,399 ringgit. So that's 2,400 ringgit for 12 GB of RAM, 250 GB of storage. So yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good price for that much storage and that many features. So that's about it. We hope this video was useful to you guys. So do let us know which feature you're most excited about. Is it gonna be the camera with the 20 times hybrid zoom, or is it gonna be the 50-watt fast charger? Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you again in the next video.